from the City of Presidents. It's the All About Quincy podcast. This is your host, John Melley. Join me as we explore the history, hidden gems, and highlight the businesses with great stories that all tell the tale why Quincy, Massachusetts is a great place to live. Hi, it's John. How are you? Thanks for spending some time with me today. I appreciate it. My guest today is Sara Trainor Callard, and she's the executive director for the Friends of Ruth Gordon Amphitheatre. And we're going to be talking about a Quincy musician who's got a live performance at the Amphitheatre this Friday night. And you are going to want to check this out. All kinds of great vendors, and the weather's supposed to be great. And there's going to be an award ceremony. And we're going to talk all about it in this episode of the podcast. So let's get to it. Well, welcome back. As I said at the beginning of the episode, my guest today is Sara Trainor Callard, and she is the executive director for the nonprofit organization Friends of Ruth Gordon Amphitheatre. And before we jump into that conversation with Sara, I want to give a special shout out to Mary Hastings Santos and Susan Machado. They both made generous contributions to the throwmydogabone.com. And this episode of the All About Quincy podcast is sponsored by throwmydogabone.com. And it's a way for you to support both this podcast and the Forever Home New England Dog Rescue. Now, we're dog lovers here at the All About Quincy podcast, and we got our rescue dog Trudy from Forever Home New England Dog Rescue, and we just absolutely love her. So here's how it works. You just go to the allaboutquincypodcast.com site and click the Throw My Dog a Bone link at the top of the page. When you get there, you're going to get to see a picture of Trudy, and you can buy 1, 5, 10, or even 20 digital dog bones, and 20% of all the proceeds after bank processing fees will be donated to the Forever Home New England Dog Rescue, and the rest will be used to support this podcast for web hosting, audio hosting, etc. So just go to the allaboutquincypodcast.com site, click the Throw My Dog a Bone link at the top of the page, and buy 1, 5, 10, or even 20 digital dog bones. Throwmydogabone.com, supporting content creators and helping dogs find loving homes. And so with that, Sara, I want to welcome you to the All About Quincy podcast. How are you?
I'm great, John. Thank you so much for having me.
It's great to have another episode about the Ruth Gordon Amphitheatre. Last year, we did an episode with Ann Danby, and she reached out to me and put me in touch with you because you've got an exciting event coming up this Friday, the 23rd, at the Ruth Gordon Amphitheatre with a local musician, Jesse Ahearn. Am I correct in that?
Yes, and we're super excited about that. Jesse is he's actually recently returned, I think just within the last couple of weeks, to his hometown of Quincy. So he is a lifelong Quincy resident. And he's back from touring Europe essentially for like the last 2 years. We're very honored to have him. And, he's actually doing this performance free of charge as a gift, to the people of Quincy, as his way to give back. And I just think that's such a wonderful thing, So, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about his style. You gave me we were trying to get him on this show and possibly play a tune, but unfortunately he can't. Tell everybody why he can't be on this episode during this recording session.
Sure. Yeah. I think he was disappointed not to be able to join us today, and hopefully we'll get him on it another time. But he's actually right now booked in the studio every day recording his next album. So I guess we can understand.
Yeah, he's got a more important recording session going on than this one.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the type of music Jesse plays. I listened to it. I actually went to his website. I saw a cool video. It looks like he shot part of the video on the Red Line. So he's local through and through. But tell us a little bit about his music style and what fans can expect to hear on Friday.
Yeah, I've just become like a huge Jesse fan myself because he first kind of came on my radar when I saw an article about him in the Patriot Ledger. And after reading that, I was like, wow, this is this Quincy musician who started out just kind of busking at Wollaston Beach. And now he's opening for the Dropkick Murphys and Rancid and all kinds of really, famous people. So I thought, gee, that's interesting. I got to check this guy out. So I started listening to his stuff and I was just kind of instantly hooked. So he's hard to kind of define because he's unique, but he's been compared to people like Johnny Cash. He's been compared to Springsteen. He's been compared to even like Willie Nelson, because he's got his guitar and his harmonica, and he just kind of goes for it. Like, he's very passionate about his music, and he's very raw, I guess you could say. He has that sort of raw, soulful way of singing, and it's kind of a combination between folk and like rock, but it's really great stuff.
I was hearing you describe him. From what I heard, almost the word that pops into my mind is spontaneous. And for him,
Yeah.
take it where the music takes him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that that's what kind of resonates with people, is because he speaks from the heart a lot and he sings from the heart. It just gets you pulled in, I feel. So, and people, at concerts are just kind of instantly clapping and singing along. And I think everyone's going to have a great time. And, he's building a fan base here and abroad. And so I think that his fans will be there, as well as people that are new to Jesse. But I think that everyone's really going to love him.
Paint a picture for what people can experience at the Ruth Gordon Amphitheatre Friday night. Who can come? What should they bring? What can they expect when they get there? Tell us all the cool things that are going to happen this weekend.
Okay, yeah. So another important aspect of Friday night is that we are giving out our Spyglass Award in recognition of Robert H. Bosworth. Otherwise, more familiar to people would be Bob. He goes by Bob usually, but he is the producer and editor, of course, of the Quincy Sun, our essential news source in Quincy for many, many years, going back to 1968. And so one of the exciting parts of this Friday night is also that we will be giving Bob that award at 5:50, just before the show gets started. So I would encourage people to come early so that we can also see Mr. Bosworth receive his Spyglass Award.
So what's the Spyglass Award?
So the Spyglass Award, as you know, the Friends of Ruth Gordon Amphitheatre was just founded about a year ago, year and a half, I guess, to preserve, to save, and revive the amphitheater, because we nearly lost it. The amphitheater was nearly destroyed. And the people came together and rallied and said, no, wait, we love this place. We want to save it. So that's a little bit of the history. And the architect of the amphitheater was my father, T. Owen Trainor.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah. So I felt particularly passionate about that as well, and really wanted to do something to help. And, my solution was, why don't we create a nonprofit where we can actually work in partnership with the city and support the city, and the city supports us, and we all, work together to keep this place alive and thriving. So that's what we're doing. And early on in that, we met with myself and Maria Mulligan, another founding member of the group, met with former First Lady Louise Larea, because she as you may know, her husband, the late Joe Larea, was the mayor that commissioned the amphitheater in the first place.
I do remember that. Yep. Anna and I talked about that, I think, during our last episode last year. Yes.
Yeah. So when we went out to meet Louise, who's just like an amazing, wonderful woman who has done so much. She's actually an artist herself. She showed us some paintings of hers, and she dedicated decades, she and her family dedicated decades of their life to doing the Summerfest series that was there for a good 20 years or so. And so we were there, and she was like, I want to thank you so much for what you're doing. And we were like, I was like, what do you mean thank us? We need to thank you, you're the one that brought this to life and kept it going for all these years. So that's where the Spyglass came from. It's just like our longing to show gratitude for those in the community that are uplifting the arts and that are speaking for the people, a voice of the people, and really embody all those things that Ruth embodies, Ruth Gordon. And I've become a huge Ruth Gordon fan too throughout this whole process. And she's just, somebody that has so many wise things to say. So yeah, we've selected Bob as our second recipient for the Spyglass Award.
Excellent. So that's going to happen before the show. So the event is this Friday, August 23rd. Get there, at 5:30? Enjoy. Are there going to be food trucks, if I'm correct? Tell us everything that's going to be going on.
Yes, yes. So we will be having our main food supplier for most of our events is the very amazing Blacks Creek Barbecue, which is they have everything from mac and cheese to ribs and chicken wings and all kinds of great food. Then we'll also be having Break Rock Brewery. They serve wine, craft beer that they make right there at their brewery. It's really great.
They've been on the show as well.
Yeah, they're terrific. Jay has been just like a great partner, and Villia's been coming to a lot of our shows recently. She's the brewer there, so they're just really great people. They'll be there, and we'll have our merch table set up with our new T-shirts, which are very popular this year. I think Jesse will have a merch table there too, I believe. And we will just all be, having a really great time. It's a really nice experience at the amphitheater. It's sort of like you get there and there's a water view and the walking trails and the park is lovely. And it's just sort of a really wonderful place to enjoy music, under the stars.
Everybody assumes that everybody knows where the Ruth Gordon Amphitheater is, but tell everybody where it is. It is. It's a beautiful location.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little hard to find, I feel like, because there's no signage. And we're working on that with our architecture team. Hopefully we'll get some signage up. But it is in Marymount Park, which is not far from the Veterans Stadium. Everyone knows where the stadium is, right?
Right.
So if you take that street, which I think they now call Marymount Parkway, I believe they renamed that street. But that street that's right next to the Veterans Stadium, it brings you to the entrance of the amphitheater. The amphitheater is right there on your left as you go into where the baseball fields are.
Right.
So it's right there. It's called Vietnam Veterans Drive, and the amphitheater is right there. So you go in there. There's a parking lot there, and if that fills up, there's parking on the street. We have handicap accessible bathrooms, public bathrooms, which is something that some outdoor venues don't have. So we don't have to have, porta potties. We've got just so many benefits to being there.
Right. So there's plenty of free parking, and there are restroom facilities and food trucks and seating. What about seating? You got to bring your own chair, blanket?
No, you don't have to bring your own chair at all, because the Ruth Gordon Amphitheater seats up to 500 people on its benches. So you can sit right there on the benches, or if you'd like to, you can bring a blanket or a chair, which you can use on the lawns around the sides. Right. Or some people put a chair on the benches, although I find the stone benches to be actually really comfortable. It depends on, your preference, but
I've been there. It's a really nice location. I saw my brother used to be in the U.S. Air Force Band of Liberty, and I saw them perform there. That was my first time ever being there. That was a while ago. Yeah, it's a really neat location. The weather is supposed to be really nice. We finally got through that humid spell, and I hate to say it, but it's getting crisper. Yeah. At any rate, so there's going to be all kinds of good stuff. What time does Jesse take the stage?
Yeah, he's going to be going on approximately 6 to 6:15. It'll depend on how long, our little award ceremony takes for Bob Bosworth. But yeah, we're aiming for right in that zone. And honestly, the crisper air is a little bit welcome, I feel like. It's been such a scorching hot summer, so it should be beautiful weather.
I agree. It's great weather for a concert. So food and music and great weather, how can you beat it?
I know. Then we'll be having another great show coming up on Labor Day weekend as well with the Studio 2 Beatles tribute.
Right. And admission is free, correct?
Yes, free. Yeah.
How can you beat that?
I know, right?
Free admission, great weather, great music, and good food. Now, the food you got to pay for, but
yeah,
but that's expected and understood. But that sounds like a great, perfect Friday night.
Yeah, we will be having our taco truck there as well. So,
man, what more do you need?
Yeah,
and then you've got the Beatles tribute band coming, and what other events do you have coming up this season?
The Beatles tribute band will be our last band of the season. And then we are looking into hopefully getting 1 or 2 movie nights. So more on that later. I'm not really sure about the movie nights, but stay tuned, and people can sign up for our blog or newsletter, whichever you prefer to call it, on our website, which is friendsofrga.org.
Yeah, I was just going to ask if people want to learn more about all the events in the organization and how they can help. It's
friendsofrga.org. And that will also link you to our Facebook page and our Instagram. On Facebook, it can get confusing because, there's maybe a Facebook page for the Ruth Gordon Amphitheatre, and that's not us. We're the Friends of the Ruth Gordon Amphitheatre. So the easiest way is just to go to the website, and that will link you to all our social media and also allow you to sign up for the newsletter.
Oh, that's great. And you know what I'll do is I'll put a link to your website on the show notes for this episode at the allaboutquincypodcast.com website as well.
Thank you, Don.
You're very welcome. Is there anything else you want to tell us? I mean, I don't know what more we could add to that night, except for maybe no, I won't even say it. I was going to say free ice cream, but that's not going to happen.
Oh, yeah, no. Good idea, John. But,
I mean, what could make this better? Great music, and good food, and free admission. That sounds great with parking lot.
Ice cream's not free, but we do have ice cream there every night. So every time.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
There, yes. Smiles by the Miles ice cream. Our local Sally runs that. She's our local Quincy ice cream vendor. And, but yeah, it's really just exciting to see, a musician from Quincy who's really making it out there in the world. And, it's a tough industry to make it. And so I think that, a lot of our musicians that played in the music festival a week ago are planning on coming just because, it's great to see and meet someone who's doing great things. So
let's do a solid for all of your vendors. Who's going to be there? We'll just give them a free shout out here on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, I think I already mentioned them all, but Black Street Barbecue, Break Rock Brewery, Smiles by Miles Ice Cream, South Shore Taco Guy. And I think we have henna tattoos and things like that, little extras that we might add in.
And you've got a merchandise table, and Jesse might have a merchandise table as well. And ways to support the Friends of Ruth Gordon Amphitheatre will be at that merchandise table, I'm sure.
Yes.
All right. Is there anything else that you want to share with us before we wrap this up?
Nope. I hope to see everybody there again to honor Bob Bosworth of the Quincy Sun and to just enjoy this wonderful show from Jesse Ahearn. So we'll see you on Friday get there early for the awards at 5:45. That would be great.
That's great. And that's this Friday, August 23rd. Get there around 5:30 and have a great time.
Thank you, John. We appreciate the publicity.
Absolutely. Happy to do it. Well, that's it for this episode of the All About Quincy podcast. I want to thank you for, if you're so inclined, to make a contribution to throwmydogabone.com. And you can do that by going to allaboutquincypodcast.com. Find the link to throwmydogabone.com at the top of the page and throw my dog a bone. 20% after banking charges is going to go help the Forever Home New England Dog Rescue, and the rest is going to help support this podcast. And I do appreciate your generosity. And I want to invite you to reach out to me and let me know of any businesses or folks in the city of Quincy that you think should be on the show. If you think they should be on the show, we want to know. Just go to allaboutquincypodcast.com and hit the contact button and you'll shoot me an email. Please remember to subscribe to this podcast. We're on Apple Music, Amazon Music, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts, you can find the All About Quincy podcast. Until next time, thanks for listening.